I want to do another story on uh, this white extremist who killed all these people on yesterday or day before yesterday. Now they're saying that he killed 10 people, but I could have sworn originally it said 11. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the story I read was wrong. I'm not sure. But the question I want to ask you now, first of all, let me say this. Yes, I am a conspiracy theorist by heart, which means it's kind of hard for me just to believe what they put out here in the news as fact, as evidence, if you will, because sometimes it just tell you something that really don't make sense, you know what I'm saying? So, but with that being said, like I said, my question is, did this guy actually put down 2 white people? I know the story says that the police said that 2 white people suffered behind his gun. But I'm just gonna read a couple of articles, touch on a couple of articles, and then I'm quite sure I'm gonna have some people say, "Oh, look, we sound like I'm crazy, this and the third." But we're just gonna go off by what we're reading. And then I'll let you make your own conclusion, because I'm still kind of iffy. Maybe you can help me figure this out. Alright, this is back on the Daily Mail. It says, Buffalo supermarket shooters chilling. 180-page manifesto said great replacement theory of whites being outnumbered drove him to kill. And New Zealand mass shooter Brenton Tarrant was his inspiration. As you can see here, it said he shared his 180-page manifesto about why he killed 10 people. He said it include details that he claims that white folks are being made extinct by immigration, but really I think it's more of y'all just can't have babies like you used to. I mean, there's already stories out there stating that, for some reason y'all population is down. Not that other people are taking over, but there's more people of other ethnic groups or races coming over. It's just that you guys, for some reason, are not producing any cheering. It's a detailed section on black, Jews, leftists, and transgender people. Remember that right there. When we gonna come back to that. And they say y'all supposed to share the names of people that helped him, that inspired him. So let's scroll down. Like so, we're just gonna hit notes. It's a large part of the manifesto focus on the Great Replacement Theory. It claims, like I say, whites are being deliberately outnumbered in the U.S. by migrants from other countries to skew elections in favor of the Democrats. I mean, dude, I can, well, unfortunately, there's a lot of us that feel that same way just by looking at what's going on with the, south of the border and, over the ocean, across the ocean, how they letting all these people come in the Democrat Party who welcome all these people. And then you see, like in New York, they're trying to pass these laws and let quote-unquote illegal immigrants vote if they do certain things. You see what I'm saying? So I get that point. No people gonna say, "Oh man, you shouldn't side with this guy." Hey, there are people. What I'm trying to say is, there are people who feel the same way that he feels, but not gonna go out there and shoot people. I mean, that's just, what I'm saying. I'm this type of person that, like the word, like I said before in another video, like the word narcissist. Look in the dictionary or whatever people definitions are, and they have like a whole bunch of characteristics to describe a narcissist, but it doesn't necessarily mean that all those characteristics mean that those characteristics mean you're a narcissist. You see what I'm saying? Just like you gotta have a bunch of things together to kind of lean toward that way. But just because you have one trait doesn't make you like that. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, just because somebody may agree to what he's saying doesn't mean we're gonna all go out here and get these assault rifles and, destroy communities just for the hell of it. It said he chose to target the upstate New York store because it sat in the zip code 14208, which he said had the highest black percentage that is close to where I live. So I'm like, damn, where did dude live at? I could have sworn like New York had a pretty dense population all across the state, but 3.5 hours is the closest that he found black people. He just had to go up there. I mean, he was like, that's what I understand. Let's say that they're trying to take over, you know, and erase his race of people. But yet you you drove 3.5 hours to gun down people who ain't even thinking about you, not even on your parents' financial level. Oh, most of your victims were elderly, and that's where you chose when you could have went. But like the guy said though, he came the day before. He came scouting, so he came to scout like a coward he would. Came to scout the weakest people and said, "Hey, I can do this one because ain't nobody from the. This is where this ain't nobody like from the hood, no gang bangers, no young brothers or nothing like that who may have guns, who may shoot back. Nah, he wasn't gonna go in that neighborhood. He went to this neighborhood. Oh, mercy. He included a rudimentary map of the store, but didn't name it prior to the shooting, saying he didn't want to tip off anyone should his manifesto end up in the hands of law enforcement. The manifesto said that he'd been radicalized entirely by the internet rather than anyone he met in real life, and added that he'd been inspired by Brenton Taylor. I still believe it had to have been something way before this that just made him, see, I feel he had to have these feelings in his head somewhat growing up. Tarrant is a white extremist who live streamed himself, murdered 51 Muslims at a mosque in Christchurch, New Zealand. That's an oxymoron. In 2019, G.R.O.W.T.H said, "The truth is, my personal life and experiences are of no value." Now, this is a guy whose parents, as we said in the previous video, are engineers, mom and dad. Which means I'm sure they're making at least $250,000 to $500,000 a year easily. He's living the good life, the life that a lot of people would love to have. And this young kid felt that his life meant nothing. So that's what I'm saying. It's got to be something deeper than him just saying, well, all these people on the internet inspired me. And it probably did, but something had to been lingering in your mind for years. Let's see, also named it as an inspiration was Dylan Roof, who killed 9 black people in 2015 at South Carolina church. Where the 2 people talking about they forgive him. Don't understand that one. And the Norwegian killer Anders Breivik, who killed 77 people in 2011. Police said 11 other people he shot were black, with the other 2 being white. Again, we're going to get into that one. That's what the police said. They said he live streamed his massacre. Tarrant used Facebook Live while G.R.O.W.T.H used Twitch. It's the most popular among video gamers. The Twitch spokesman said they were devastated. Like while he was shooting, they say like he was going for like almost 2 minutes before they shut him down. They said still. So later taken down to Google says content that violate the way of John's term of service, like real. I'm talking about the manifesto. Let's just say got screenshots of it online. It had hundreds of racist memes and grabs of liberal publications that he deemed offensive to his beliefs. Yeah, that's a big looking white boy. And although it says they feel it's authentic, but they use a fake picture, which is most cowards will do. They're gonna hide behind a picture. Hide behind what you call an avatar, because they don't want to show their real face. We already know that. That's how they operate, man. So far, 2 victims have been identified. This is Monday. Both of whom are black. Grandmother Ruth Whitfield, 86, was gunned down while shopping, and security guard Aaron Salter, the father of 3 who was killed after opening fire on Gendron. Like I said, I don't know why being an ex-police officer, he hit this dude in the head and just put him down immediately. So you gonna tell me that a teenager got the best of a brother like that? That's terrible. Let's see. This dude discusses hatred of blacks, Jews, left-wing people, and transgender people in his manifesto. He also offered biographical details of his mundane life, saying he'd grown up in Conklin, New York, around 3.5 hours from Buffalo. So I was never diagnosed with a mental disability or disorder, he wrote. I believe to be perfectly sane. So we're going to see when he gets into the court if he's going to plead not guilty for reason of insanity. They say he was arrested after walking out of the front of the supermarket in the rain at a court. And again, he wasn't shot, he wasn't harmed. Came out with the gun to his chin, what have you, and laid the stuff down, and they took him off into the car. Say only been charged with 1 count of first-degree murder. All the other more charges follow. They say he understood the charges, with his lawyer saying he didn't deny it. That comes despite him saying he pleaded guilty to his crime and that he would plead guilty in his manifesto. So he knew what he was doing. So he's going to face federal hate crimes, terrorism charges, which could see him being put to death. Now, with that being said, here's why I question if he actually, I ain't saying he did. I'm sure they're going to come out with pictures. I'm sure probably pictures out while I'm looking this up, pulling this up. But again, I want to hear eyewitness testimony about these white people. The white people they shot. Said Buffalo shooter, this is on ABC News, said Buffalo shooter targeted black neighborhood. Official says 18-year-old gunman who authorities say killed 10 people in a Buffalo supermarket had previously threatened a shooting at his high school and was sent for mental health treatment. I'm not really tripping on that. Let's see. Say Fetty shot 10 people. I was going to the last video say he wanted to shoot up the school, but you knew he wasn't. Come on now. Unless it was a bunch of, unless he was, never mind. No, he didn't. Charged with a crime and was out of the hospital within a day and a half when he, threatened his school or what have you. But the revelation raised questions about his access to weapons and whether he could have been under closer supervision by law enforcement. Like I told you last video, you play like you're crazy, they take you to the hospital, they do an evaluation, up to 3 days, then they bring you out and say he's fine, and you go about your business. They couldn't find nothing wrong with you. Now here's this is what, come on, here we go. This is kind of, really a fan of the Buffalo attack prompted grief and anger in the predominantly black neighborhood around the Touch-friendly market. A group of people gathered there Sunday afternoon to lead the chant of Black Lives Matter and mourn victims that included an 86-year-old woman who had just visited her husband in a nursing home and a supermarket security guard, both of whom were black. Now, I do not like that Black Lives Matter slogan because it's propaganda. It's quite possible that whoever came and chanted that is part of the Black Lives Matter movement, organization, and that group has been in. This is why I say some people are just, they don't really get it, don't really understand. You can tell them anything. You can say, hey, Joe Biden is a racist. He's been racist all his life. They still want to put him in because he's a Democrat. Don't matter to them. If they just go ahead and just be truthful and just say, hey, we voted for Joe Biden because he's a Democrat. Not because he's not a racist, not because he loves black people, not because although he called, little black kids roaches and, they reminded him of little roaches and stuff like that. Oh, he did a eulogy for one of the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan was one, he said that one of his mentors growing up, even though he signed that bill in the 90s or authored that bill in the 90s that put a lot of black people in jail, or low-income people in jail because of drug use, even though he said he didn't want his kids to be integrated in the jungles, with a bunch of animals, this and the third, years ago. He's a Democrat, so they give him a pass. If they just said that, you just be truthful about that, people respect you more. But that's why I don't respect them. But I don't. So, like I say, people hollering Black Lives Matter. Like I said, they've been in the news lately. A lot of controversy lately about money. Figuring out, people want to know where the money's going, where the money's at. And no one can answer, but you done bought big houses. First you said you only bought houses for your own personal use from money from the books. Then come to find out you buying houses in Canada or big buildings, big houses, mansions in Canada and in California, so you can do a podcast. True story. I might just do a story about that. Yeah, podcast. Shit, man, I do my podcast in my closet. What the heck are you talking about? I ain't got no $6 million house. Don't need one. All right, let's say somebody filled his heart so full of hate that he would destroy and devastate our community. Reverend Denise White and Glenn said. Speaking at the National Peace Office of Memorial Service at the U.S. Capitol, President Joe Biden said, "We must all work together to address the hate that remains a stain on the soul of America." You want to know how to get rid of that? You know what I'm saying? Get us an anti-hate crime bill. You know, anti-black hate crime bill, like you did the Asians. You know, the anti-lynching bill, when you look into it, it's really about people, you know what I'm saying, killing LGBT people. Really, I mean, you get to the core of it. It says the deadliest attack of multiple shootings across the country in recent days. Like really? They say officials in Milwaukee imposed a curfew after 21 people were injured in 3 separate shootings near the entertainment district, where thousands gathered Friday for NBA playoff game. 3 other shootings over the weekend in the Midwest city left 3 people dead. On Sunday, 2 shootings, one at the Houston Flea Market, another at California Church, left 3 people dead and others wounded. They also had a shooting out here in Dallas too over the weekend. The country, let's see. But what I'm trying to find is carry out a shooting in his high school. Yeah, we already know about it. It said Jenner had no further contact with law enforcement after his release from the hospital after he threatened to shoot the school. Nobody called in, he said. Nobody called in complaints. Federal law bars people from owning the gun if a judge has determined they have a mental defect or they have been forced into a mental institution. Now understand, again, this man's people have money. So I'm quite sure they probably have a little swaying power in the community. So, like I said, what I'm trying to look for is, because we already seen some. Here we go. Here's the point that I want to make. So I asked, did he really shoot white people? Because it said portions of the Twitch video circulating online showed the government. You can read along with me if you want to. But it said, read along with me. How did you say it in school? Read along with me in silence as I read aloud. Portions of the Twitch video circulating online showed the gunman firing volley after volley of shots in less than a minute as he raced through the parking lot and then the store, pausing for just a moment to reload. At one point, now here's the kicker, he trains his weapon on a white person cowering behind the checkout counter, but says, quote unquote, sorry, and doesn't shoot. Now, again, if he did that, did he really kill or shoot 2 other white people? And if he did, why? Because this shows right here that he had no intention of harming anyone that was not black at all. So, you're probably wondering, Marlon, why would you ask? Why would you say that he didn't kill white people? Well, you gotta understand how the news media works. You know, like I say, people like to use the big word propaganda. Is if you can put in just a little bit, you know, kind of soften the blow a little bit, if you will, and say that he didn't just kill black folks, he shot anybody that was in the store. Then you can kind of, when it gets ready to go to trial, then you can kind of say, well, it technically wasn't a hate crime. You know what I'm saying? He was just upset. He had a mundane, boring life. He said his life wasn't meaning nothing, didn't mean nothing. And he was distraught. And they was brainwashed on these websites, on these social media sites. And he did something that he didn't know what he was doing. He wasn't in his right mind, and so he just went in and just shot anybody who was in the store. so it couldn't be a hate crime, so we can't put him to death. See what I'm saying? But you'd be like, why? Shoot, I don't know why. They do. It's just stuff that they do. They always try to say, the guy's a lone wolf, because my thing is, you can do more investigation. If you call it a out and out hate crime, then you can, then it could be more investigation into his psyche, into his past, into, like I say, his his internet account, his family life, things like that, and then you may find more people to go and convict. Maybe even implement the RICO Act somehow. How they do all those rappers out there because they, rapping about stuff they done did and try to put them in jail for life behind RICO Acts. You know what I'm saying? If you can say it was a hate crime, like I said, you can do more investigation and find any kind of organization that he may be a part of or affiliated with. There's a whole lot of people you can get, which could include politicians, which could include people in law enforcement, because they already know out there that there are, it's already been, proven that there are gangs out there in law enforcement within the police community. There are white extremists, white supremacist gangs. This is fact. So if you just say just a lone wolf and he killed it, he did it on his own and wasn't a hate crime, he just, he just shot anybody, then you can kind of chill out. Cause like even with the Dylan Roof, you see how they ain't talking. Dylan Roof did the crime, went to jail, they ain't said nothing else about it. You ain't heard nothing about no other investigation beyond just him. That's why I said you can't trust everything you see or everything you hear in the news. They say authorities said he shot in total 11 black people and 2 white people Saturday. This individual came here with the express purpose of taking as many black lives as he possibly could, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown said in a news conference Sunday. This is a lengthy statement attributed to Grandin outline a racist ideology rooted in the belief that the United States should belong only to white people. All others, the document said, were replacers who should be eliminated by force or terror. The attack was intended to intimidate all non-white, non-Christian people and get them to leave the country. See, this goes to the point of when you got people over here who, let's say you got people coming over here from the continent or from the Caribbean, and they don't want to, and they claim they're not black, don't want to be seen as black. They're whatever tribe they're from or whatever little island they're from. What this shows you is them people don't care. That's something that you worry about on your own. That's your own little personal issue. When you come over here to this country, them folks that's in power, them folks that's in control, they don't care where you from. And I know I saw, saying this, like she was a preacher or some lady. I remember got up on podium one day and was saying something about how she's Christian first and black second. Okay, that's fine. That's good for your own personal belief and your own, for your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But when it comes to them folk walking up into your neighborhood, walking into your store or whatever, and want to eliminate you, they're not gonna ask you what's your race. They're not gonna ask you if you're LGBTQ, and he said, this is one of his criteria of people that need to be wiped out. Not gonna ask that question. You see, he didn't ask nobody no questions of what their nationality is, what country they from, what's their sexuality, what their religion is, if they adopted, nothing. He didn't ask anything, nothing. His goal was to get rid of black people. This is what our people have to understand. People hate you. You can talk all this, like I say, Jewish, and because think about it, you got to ask somebody if they're Jewish for the most part, unless they walk around with tassels, coming out their hat. LGBTQ, you can, a lot of them you can, I ain't gonna say a lot, you can tell some and some you can't. Some are flamboyant, some ain't. So, like I say, it's not like those two attributes, or if you're far left wing or whatever the case, Democrat, those are things that you cannot visually just look at somebody and tell, and you know what I'm saying, and it will cause you to do an action. But if you open your eyes and see a black person, that wipes everything out. That, you know what I'm saying? That's the easiest thing. See, we cannot change our skin color. We cannot claim our skin color because it's there. We cannot denounce our skin color because it is already on display. And as soon as people realize that to put that priority and to protect yourself, or protect your skin color, if you can't do that and everything else goes out the window. They say he conducted reconnaissance on the store in the area on Friday, the day before the shooting. Like I said, the dude came out the day before. And there's a video out where the guy said he talked to him, and for some strange reason said he realized the boy's a genius. Boy 18. Shut up. He's like you in your 50s. They say Gendron surrendered to police who confronted him in the supermarket's vestibule and convinced him to drop the rifle he had put to his neck. Like I said in the last video, you can look that up. I think that was all game. I think he knew what to do. I think he knew exactly what to do. The Buffalo attack was just the latest of mass violence in the country and set up by racial tension, gun violence, and a recent spate of hate crimes. It came to a month after the shooting of a Brooklyn subway, one of 10, and just over a year after 10 were killed in a shooting at a Colorado supermarket. It's just too much. I'm trying to bear witness, but it's just too much. You can't even go to the damn store in peace. Buffalo resident Yvonne Wood told the AP it's just crazy. That's true. When I got older, when I got wiser, I mean, shoot, I remember when I was a kid, this little place out here it used to be called Skyline Ranch. I don't know what it's called now, but they had like little parties, little radio parties and stuff. And there's a youngster talking about like high school, fresh out of high school. You know, you go there, hang out, try to look hard, you know, try to pull females, whatever the case may be, wishing somebody would try you, you know, wish some dude would come at you. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid stuff. Now that I'm 20, 30 years past that, it's like, man, look, you ain't gonna catch me. You can't do it no more because you gonna catch me in places like that, especially at night. Hey, what they had I think they had a concert out there close to there not too long ago. And as soon as the police left, people started shooting. People got killed. Youngsters. It's like, for what? It's like nowadays, yeah, like I said, you can't even go to the store nowadays. It's like, then you wonder why people move out the hood, go to like the country, or go, you know, move somewhere where some of your people are not, because it seems like nobody cares. They holler Black Lives Matter, some white dude come in the store and shoot, but nobody holler Black Lives Matter when them dudes down the street killing each other. There's no marching, there's no rally, there's no flowers being put out. People scared, and I don't understand it. But anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about this story here, man. Like I said, I'm ready to see. I'm waiting to see the pictures and the pictures and the eulogies and all that. Waiting to see the pictures of all the victims and their life stories and their names and stuff like that, so I can see exactly, who was supposedly, who the victims are. I just be interested to know. Like I said, for a dude who's so up and down that he's out here to save the white race, while you were gunned down, especially when ain't a whole lot of you, let you tell it. Why would you gun down your own kind? But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Hey, leave a comment down in the description box. Tell me what you think. You might think I'm crazy, which is possible. I don't know. And also, don't forget to like the video. Leave a description. Leave a comment, and then share it to the world. And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.